Buying your first home in Canada in 2026 may feel confusing. Rates have been all over the place, policies have changed, government incentives have changed, and the advice your uncle gave you based on markets from 25 years ago. So in this video, I'm going to give you the smartest, most strategic way to buy your first home in 2026, step by step, based on real rules, the real cost, and the real opportunities available to Canadians right now. My name is Chausse, and I'm a mortgage broker here in Ontario, and I help first-time home buyers get into the market every single week. I'm going to walk you through everything I wish someone had told me when I bought my first house, and everything my clients wish they knew before they started their home buying journey. So grab a coffee and let's break this down. Step number one is know the three biggest saving tools in Canada. If you're starting from scratch, your very first goal is simple: use every dollar wisely. And to do that, you need to understand Canada's three main down payment tools. Number one is the FHSA, First Home Savings Account. This is the biggest win for first-time home buyers in decades. Here's why. Because you can contribute up to $8,000 per year, up to $40,000 total. Your contributions are tax deductible, meaning you pay less income tax. The money grows tax-free, and when you withdraw it to buy your first home, it's also tax-free. It combines the best parts of an RRSP and a TFSA, which is a tax-free savings account, and if you don't already have this account, open it today. Even if you only put $20 in there, opening it starts the contribution room. Number two is RRSP and the Home Buyers Plan. This has been around for a long time, but in 2024, the rules changed. And now in 2026, they still stand. You can withdraw up to $60,000 tax-free. You do have to repay it over time, unlike an FHSA. So this is really powerful for a couple because they can withdraw up to $120,000 combined. If you've been saving for years, you probably already have more money here than in your first home savings account. Number three is your TFSA. This isn't a first-time buyer's account, but it's perfect for storing down payment savings because the growth is tax-free and there's no repayment later. Now, the smart buyer's move for 2026 is fill your first home savings account first, then contribute to your RSPs, and lastly, then grow extra savings in your tax-free savings. Step number two is learn the minimum down payment rules in Canada. Let's use a simple example to make this clear. If you're buying a $600,000 home in Canada, the minimum down payment is 5% of the first $500 and 10% of the rest. So if you're buying a $600,000 home, 5% of the first $500,000 equals $25,000. 10% of the rest, which is $100,000, equals $10,000. Total minimum down payment on a $600,000 property would be $35,000. A lot of people think that they need 20%, but you just simply don't. But here's the catch. If you put down less than 20%, you'll have mortgage insurance added to your mortgage. The rate is actually slightly lower, but your overall loan will be a little bit higher. Investment properties always require 20% down. If this is not your primary residence, then the minimum down payment jumps to 20%. But if you're living in the property, you can still get away with the minimum down payment rules if there's a rental component in there. Step number three, 2026 mortgage rule change that you must know. This part is huge because it affects how much you can actually afford. Rule number one, insured mortgage limits have risen to $1.5 million. This used to cap out at $1 million, and now you can buy up to $1.5 million with less than 20% down. Rule number two, 30-year amortizations now allowed for insured mortgages. This applies to first-time homebuyers with less than 20% down on homes under $1.5 million. This lowers your monthly payment, giving you more breathing room and more qualifying power. So what does this mean in real life? A home that's $1.3 million used to require a $260,000 down payment. Now the minimum is $105,000. That's a massive shift for first-time homebuyers in Ontario, BC, and any major cities. Step number four, learn how to actually save for your down payment. This is the part that most people struggle with. Here's what I tell all of my clients. If your rent is $2,000 a month, but owning will cost you $3,000, start saving the extra $1,000 each month today. Put it in a high interest savings account or your TFSA. This does two things. You get used to the future payments, you build your down payment faster, but saving alone won't get you there. You also need discipline. Look at your spending, get honest about where your money goes. Write down your goals, make it visible. Most first-time homebuyers don't fail because of the income, they fail because of habits. Step number 5 is get pre-approved early. This is where 90% of buyers make the biggest mistake. They look at homes before getting pre-approved. A pre-approval tells you exactly what you can afford. You get to lock in a rate for 90 to 120 days. It tells you your maximum purchase price, and it helps you build a plan if you're not ready yet. It gives you leverage when you're ready to write an offer. And let me clear up one myth. Getting your credit pulled once does not destroy your credit score. It barely moves, and it's necessary. Speak to a mortgage broker like me, a bank, or both, and get clarity today, not later. Step number 6 is choose your mortgage strategy, fixed versus variable. I'm not here to tell you which one to choose, but if you want, you can check out a video where I talk about fixed versus variable because your personality matters more than the math. Here's how I explain it. Variable rates equals longer term win, short term stress. Historically cheaper, penalties are small, usually 3 months interest. Fixed rates, well, they equal stability, but more expensive to break. Good for people who want predictability, but penalties sometimes can range between $10,000 and even $20,000 or more. Your choice should come down to one question. What's going to keep you from sleeping at night? My job is to give you options, and your job is to decide the comfort level. Step number 7, understand the mortgage basics. These 4 things matter more than most buyers realize. Number 1 is the amortization, 25 or 30 years. Longer means lower payments, but more interest. Number 2, payment frequency. Bi-weekly accelerated knocks years off of your mortgage. Number 3 is lump sum privileges. Most lenders allow 10 to 20% extra payments annually, which get applied directly towards your principal. Number 4 is the penalties. Variable equals predictability, and fixed equals potentially brutal. If you want to move in 3 to 5 years, you really want to pay attention to the fixed versus variable conversation. Step number 6, the mortgage stress test. A lot of buyers don't understand this, so let me break it down simply. To get approved, lenders must stress test you at the greater of 5.25% or your interest rate that you're getting on the mortgage plus 2%. So if a rate is at 4.5%, your stress test at 6.5%. This protects you from overborrowing, and honestly, it's saved a lot of Canadians during the rate spikes. Step number 9 is use the out of 10 rule when viewing homes. This is one of my favorite tools. When you walk into a property, you want to rank it 1 to 10, but you can't pick 7, and here's why. Because 7 means that it's a meh answer. It forces you to get clear. 6 or below, walk away. 8 equals it could become a 9 with small upgrades. 9 is it equals a serious contender. And if it's a 10, it's rare and it's usually competitive. Every buyer who uses this rule loves it. And step number 10, understand the 5 key parts of making an offer. When you find a home that you want, you'll write an offer. And here's the 5 big pieces that you need to consider. Number 1 is the price, obvious but strategic. Number 2 is the deposit. This is not your down payment, even though it gets applied to the down payment. In Ontario, it's typically 5% due within 24 hours of the offer being accepted. Number 3 is possession date, usually 30 to 60 days. Number 4 is irrevocable time. It's a deadline for the seller to respond. Number 5 is conditions. There are 3 big ones: financing, home inspection, status certificate for condos. Conditions protect you. If something doesn't add up, you can walk away and get your deposit back. Step 11 is negotiations, what sellers can do. When you send your offer, 3 things can happen. They accept it, they counter with new prices or new terms, and they reject it or they let it expire. Countering can go back and forth for a few days. Your realtor should guide you through this strategy. Step number 12 is know your closing costs. This is the part a lot of buyers don't plan for. Here's what you need cash for on closing. Number 1 is land transfer tax. Ontario has 1, Toronto has double. First-time home buyers get up to $4,000 off. Lawyer fees, usually $1,500 to $2,000. Home inspection, if the seller didn't provide one. Adjustments like property taxes, utilities, prepaid items. These are all separate from your down payment and must be paid up front when you're at your lawyer's office. Step 13 is understand the true monthly cost of owning. Your mortgage payment is just the start. You also have to pay property taxes, condo and maintenance fees if applicable, home insurance, utilities, internet and cable, repairs and maintenance. And one of the most important things is build in an emergency savings for things like roof repairs, furnaces, or windows. Owning a home is a responsibility, but it's also one of the most powerful ways to build long-term wealth. Step 14 is use a smart market strategy. Before you buy, look at number 1, days on market. Longer days on market equals more negotiating power. Number 2, list to sell ratio. Are homes selling under asking or over? Number 3, months of inventory. Under 3 is a seller's market. 4 to 6 equals balance. Over 6 is a buyer's market. These 3 numbers tell you exactly what type of market that you're in. So buying a home in 2026 doesn't have to feel overwhelming. You don't have to guess. You don't have to navigate this alone. You just need the right roadmap. And now that you have it, and if you found this helpful, please like and subscribe to the channel so that more Canadians can see these videos. If you're thinking about buying your first home anywhere in Canada, especially here in Ontario, you can book a call using the link that's pinned in the description. And I'll walk you through all of the numbers personally. Because at the end of the day, home ownership isn't just a transaction, it's a milestone. And I'm here to help you get there with confidence. Thanks for watching, and remember, this is the year to make it happen.